Live from New Delhi, you're watching DD India Live, India's voice to the world. I'm Ramesh Ramachandran. Coming up in the next 30 minutes. Trump says no early end to war, dissatisfied with the latest Iranian proposal as rift with allies deepens. Iran says it's likely war with US to restart and it's fully prepared. Trump hints at military action towards Cuba as sanctions are tightened. Havana slams new sanctions as collective punishment of the Cuban people. US to cut troop levels in Germany by 5,000 in next 6 to 12 months amid Trump's spat with Merz. Defense Minister Pistorius says withdrawal of troops was expected. And India launches nationwide mobile-based disaster communication systems aiming to provide citizens with near real-time life-saving information during emergencies with test messages sent across the country. US President Donald Trump on Friday said that he was not satisfied with Iran's latest proposal for resolving the conflict and that negotiations were taking place by phone as peace talks remain frozen despite a weeks-long ceasefire. Though the United States and Iran have suspended hostilities since the April 8 ceasefire, the two countries remain at odds over a range of issues, including Iran's nuclear ambitions and control over the Strait of Hormuz, and the two sides have yet to agree to a second meeting. Trump's comments came after Tehran has submitted its latest proposal for negotiations with the US, a move that could offer hope for breaking a deadlock in efforts to end the Iran war.
So they want to make a deal, but I'm not satisfied with it, so we'll see what happens. Iran wants to make a deal because they have no military left, essentially, and they want to make a deal, but I'm not satisfied with it.
While speaking to voters in the conservative retirement community in Florida, Donald Trump said that the United States would not exit its confrontation with Iran early and then have the problem arise in 3 more years.
We're just winning. If it were a fight, they'd stop it. If this were a fight, they'd stop it. You know that expression, it's true. But they're not coming through with the kind of deal that we have to have, and we're going to get this thing done properly. We're not going to leave early and then have the problem arise in 3 more years.
It was unclear what the Iranians had submitted in their fresh proposal. Iran's foreign ministry has cautioned against expecting quick results. Iran's foreign minister Abbas Araghchi said his country was ready to pursue diplomacy if the US changes what he called its excessive approach, threatening rhetoric and provocative actions. However, Araghchi added in a social media post that Iran's armed forces remain ready to defend the country against any threat. Iran has activated air defenses and plans a wide response if attacked, having assessed that there will be a short, intensive US strike, possibly followed by an Israeli attack. Meanwhile, a senior Iranian commander has warned that renewed conflict with the US is likely. The remarks came hours after Trump said he was dissatisfied with Tehran's latest negotiating proposal, signaling continued deadlock in peace efforts. On home front, Trump faces a formal US deadline on Friday to end the war or make the case to Congress for extending it under the 1973 War Powers Resolution. President Trump told top US lawmakers that hostilities in Iran had ended after coming under pressure from the Congress to seek authorization for the conflict as it headed into its 3rd month. The date looks set to pass without altering the course of the conflict after a senior administration official said that for the purposes of the resolution, hostilities had terminated due to the April ceasefire between Tehran and Washington, D.C. The United States has approved expedited arms transfers to Israel, Kuwait, Qatar and the UAE bypassing a standard congressional review to rush air defense missiles and laser guidance systems to West Asia as the Iran war ceasefire seems ever more fragile. The package spans a range of advanced military systems and support services. Qatar will receive Patriot air and missile defense support valued at about $4 billion, along with precision-guided weapons systems, while Kuwait is set to acquire an integrated battle command system worth roughly $2.5 billion. Israel and the UAE are slated to receive advanced precision kill weapon systems, a type of guided rocket system used in modern warfare. Major U.S. defense companies including RTX, Lockheed Martin, Northrop Grumman and BAE Systems are expected to be involved in executing these contracts. The U.S. blockade in the Gulf of Oman and surrounding maritime routes has been claimed to have cost Iran nearly $4.8 billion in oil revenue, significantly tightening financial pressure on Tehran, according to a report by Axios citing Pentagon estimates. The Department of War assessment suggests Iran has been denied close to $5 billion in oil earnings due to disruptions linked to U.S. enforcement operations in the region, which officials say are targeting sanctioned maritime trade and energy exports. The report comes amid ongoing tensions over shipping routes near the Strait of Hormuz, a critical global oil checkpoint. While announcing the U.S.'s naval blockade in April, U.S. President Trump said that the Navy would interdict every vessel paying an illegal toll. The U.S. President also issued a shoot-and-kill order against small Iranian boats that deploy mines to choke traffic through the strait, forcing ships to navigate around Larak. The United States is withdrawing 5,000 troops from Germany, the Pentagon announced on Friday in an apparent U.S. rebuke to the close NATO ally amid a widening rift between President Donald Trump and Europe over the Iran war. The announcement came after President Donald Trump threatened earlier this week to remove troops from NATO ally Germany amid a row with its Chancellor Friedrich Merz over the U.S.-Israeli war against Iran. Pentagon said the withdrawal was expected to be completed over the next 6 to 12 months. The U.S. has about 36,400 active duty military personnel based in Germany. That's a fraction of the 250,000 U.S. troops that were based there in 1985, before the fall of the Berlin Wall and the end of the Cold War. Meanwhile, in response to the announcement of U.S. withdrawing its troops from Germany, German Defense Minister Boris Pistorius said the withdrawal of American troops from Germany had been expected and that Europe needed to do more to ensure its own security. President Trump signed an executive order on Friday broadening U.S. sanctions against the Cuban government as he seeks to put more pressure on Havana. The fresh sanctions target people, entities and affiliates that support the Cuban government's security apparatus or are complicit in corruption or serious human rights violations, as well as agents, officials or supporters of the government. The order authorizes secondary sanctions for conducting or facilitating transactions with those targeted under the order. Meanwhile, Cuban President Miguel Diaz-Canel said the new coercive measures reinforce the U.S.'s brutal blockade against the island. The U.S. has long demanded Cuba open its state-run economy, pay reparations for properties expropriated by the government of former leader Fidel Castro, and hold free and fair elections. Cuba has said its form of a socialist government is not up for negotiation. Israel intensified strikes in southern Lebanon, escalating tensions and causing casualties and displacement. In the early hours of Saturday, explosions and projectiles lit up the skies over southern Lebanon following Israeli strikes that hit the Nabatea region on Friday after evacuation warnings were issued shortly before the attacks. The strikes left at least 6 people dead and 8 wounded, while Lebanese authorities said the ongoing conflict between Israel and Hezbollah has killed over 2,500 people and displaced more than 1.2 million since early March. Japan and Vietnam strengthened strategic ties during high-level talks focused on key sectors and future cooperation. On Saturday, Japan's Prime Minister Takaichi Sanai attended a welcome ceremony in Hanoi, where she met Vietnamese leaders and held talks with Prime Minister Lee Minh-hoon, vowing to boost bilateral ties with focus on energy and critical minerals. Meanwhile, Prime Minister Takaichi Sanai said on deepening their comprehensive strategic partnership, covering areas such as artificial intelligence, semiconductors, and space.
We confirmed our cooperation to make Japan, Vietnam, and the Indo-Pacific region stronger and more prosperous together. In the economic field, we agreed to deepen cooperation in the economic security field, as well as in energy, critical minerals, AI, semiconductors, and space as new priority areas for bilateral cooperation.
U.S. forces showcased advanced missile capabilities during joint drills in the Philippines, highlighting strategic positioning in the region. During the annual Balikatan exercises, U.S. forces deploy the Navy Marine Expeditionary Ship Interdiction System in Batanes, located near waters separating the Philippines from Taiwan. The deployment formed part of joint military drills conducted against the backdrop of ongoing tensions linked to the West Asia situation, underscoring efforts to enhance regional security and defense readiness. And now take a look at what else is making news around the world. Nobel Peace Prize laureate Narges Mohammadi has been hospitalized in Iran after a catastrophic deterioration in her health, including a cardiac crisis. She was moved from prison after her condition worsened. Mohammadi, the 2023 Peace Prize winner, is jailed for campaigning for women's rights and against the death penalty in Iran. Cyclists gathered at the Youthina archaeological site near Tunis in Tunisia as a new route was announced to boost cultural tourism, improve infrastructure, enhance visitor experience through structured paths, promote heritage, attract tourists, and support economic activity. Over 230,000 fans enjoyed a free concert by the Chilean band 31 Minutos in downtown Mexico City. Families filed the Zocalo Square to watch their favorite characters from the Chilean band and TV series in the show I've Never Seen Television, with both young and old fans singing along to the songs. And still to come on this edition of DD India Live. Brisk repolling is underway in 15 polling stations across 2 assembly segments in West Bengal's South 24 Parganas district. And India's weather agency warns of heavy rain, thunderstorms and gusty winds across multiple states today.
On May 4, India decides, and DD India brings you the most trustworthy, authentic election coverage as results flow in from Assam, West Bengal, Tamil Nadu, Kerala and Puducherry. Stay with us for live updates from counting centres with reporters on the ground and experts in the studio tracking every round, every shift, every key race as it happens. No noise, no speculation, just the verified, credible results from the national broadcaster you rely on. Election results live on May 4 from 7 a.m. onwards only on DD India.
Welcome back. You're watching DD India Live. I'm Ramesh Ramachandran. Repolling is underway in 15 polling stations across 2 assembly segments in West Bengal's South 24 Parganas district. Among these, 11 booths are in Paschim Mograhat and 4 booths in Diamond Harbour Assembly constituency. Election Commission has ordered repolling after irregularities were reported. Till 3 p.m., an approximate voter turnout of 72.5% was recorded in Magrahat Paschim Assembly constituency, while Diamond Harbour reported 72.36% as repolling continues under tight security. Counting will be conducted on May 4th and the results will be declared on the same day. The National Disaster Management Authority launched a mobile-based disaster communication systems on Saturday. It was launched at the annual conference of relief commissioners from states and union territories in New Delhi on Saturday. The system has been developed by the Department of Telecommunications, Ministry of Communications in collaboration with the National Disaster Management Authority or the NDMA. The Government of India is to ensure timely dissemination of critical information to its citizens. The system has been extensively utilized by disaster management authorities, enabling the dissemination of over 134 billion SMS alerts till date in more than 19 Indian languages during natural disasters, weather warnings and cyclonic events. A message was sent to mobile handsets in all capital cities of India along with Delhi and NCR as launch exercise. The message was sent in English, Hindi and regional languages. People are requested not to panic. No action is required upon receiving this message. During the launch, emphasis was also laid on improving coordination between states and the central government to effectively deal with natural disasters. Communications Minister Jyotiraditya Scindia, Home Secretary Govind Mohan, Director General of NIDM Piyush Anand were present at the event. Speaking at the event, Minister Scindia said that CDOT, India's indigenous R&D organization, has established itself not only nationally but also at the global level.
आज उस CDOT की संस्था के द्वारा सेल ब्रॉडकास्टिंग सॉल्यूशन आज आपदा के वातावरण में सुरक्षा को सुनिश्चित करने के लिए देश की जनता के हाथों में और एनडीआरएफ के हाथों में सबसे उपयोगी एक साधन के रूप में आज उतर चुका है.
For the past 2 days, the Great Nicobar project has been in discussion. A major reason for this is the leader of opposition in the Lok Sabha, Rahul Gandhi. He says that development work will harm the environment of Nicobar Island and increase the problems of tribal communities. However, former Air Force Chief R.K.S. Bhadauria has completely rejected this claim. He explained how this project is a game changer for India from a strategic, military and economic perspectives.
Suddenly, this issue has come up that trees are being cut here and tribal development is being affected. It is important to understand India's overall strategic needs. There's also a misconception that tribal interests are not being considered. Yes, deforestation is happening, of course, but people can be misled by statements about the extent of it. So one should be cautious. According to me, this is a very important development for India.
The distance from Nicobar to the Strait of Malacca is just 150 kilometers or 40 nautical miles. This is a strait through which 60% of the world's trade passes. About 805 kilometers long, it connects the Indian Ocean with the Pacific Ocean, that is the South China Sea.
The Andaman and Nicobar Islands, our Tri-Service Command has been saying for a long time that we should establish a stronger footprint here. Our ability for surveillance need to increase, including radars and networks. We have seen how important these things are. For example, during Operation Sindoor, our reach should expand, and from here, our Indo-Pacific reach will grow significantly. It is not enough just to participate in the Quad. Our ability to reach, dominate, and be militarily effective is important. So, this is strategically important.
Given Nicobar's geographical and strategic importance, there has been a demand for its development for the past 2 decades. Taking an important decision, the central government under Prime Minister Narendra Modi has decided to develop it in a phased manner. In the first phase, 72.12 square kilometer area is being developed.
The government has taken a very strong step from a strategic, economic development and infrastructure point of view. I'm actually quite surprised because even the previous government, I still remember Mr. Antony himself said that development should take place here, especially from a defense perspective. Whenever we raised this issue, there was always that kind of support from the Congress government that yes, development should happen here. It may not have been implemented in practice, that's a different matter. But if it is now being implemented, then everyone should support it. Our national interest should always be paramount.
In Nicobar, an international container transshipment terminal will be built. The sea depth here is naturally more than 20 meters, allowing large cargo ships to dock. This will reduce India's dependence on Sri Lanka, Singapore, and Myanmar and help save revenue. A greenfield international airport is proposed with an initial capacity of about 1 million passengers per year, which will later increase to 10 million annually. A township will be developed over 16.610 hectares with well-planned residential, commercial, and institutional areas. Additionally, a 450 megavolt ampere capacity power plant will be constructed. The total area of Nicobar is 751.07 square kilometer. Out of this, infrastructure development will take place over 166.10 square kilometer, including 35.35 square kilometer of revenue land and 130.75 square kilometer of forest land. The project will involve diversion of 1.82% of forest cover. In compensation, afforestation is planned over 97.30 square kilometer. No displacement of the Champagne or Nicobarese tribal communities is proposed under the project. In this way, the entire project seeks to establish a balance between environmental conservation and development. It will enhance India's strategic and economic importance and create an inclusive future of development in the Great Nicobar. Bureau Report, DD India.
In other news, India saw a mixed weather outlook for May with varied temperatures and rainfall patterns predicted across regions. India's weather agency said maximum temperatures in May month were likely to remain normal to below normal in many areas, while parts of southern and northwest regions could experience above normal heat, with El Niño conditions expected to influence the monsoon. The weather agency also predicted thunderstorms with lightning and gusty winds across parts of northern and central regions of the country. Meanwhile, the heavy to very heavy rainfall over northeast India with widespread showers and thunderstorms are expected over the coming days. The Morarji Desai National Institute of Yoga under the Ministry of Ayush organized Yoga Mahotsav on Saturday in Telangana, marking the 50-day countdown to the 12th International Day of Yoga. The event featured mass participation in the Common Yoga Protocol, with the program witnessing wide international participation along with participants from across India. Yoga Mahotsav 2026 reinforced the message of yoga as a powerful tool for preventive healthcare, mental well-being and holistic living, in line with the government's vision of a healthier and more resilient India. Minister of State for Health and Family Welfare, Pratap Rao Jadhav, at the event said that under Prime Minister Modi's leadership, yoga has evolved into a powerful global tool for overall well-being.
हमारे आदरणीय प्रधानमंत्री श्री नरेंद्र मोदी जी के गतिशील नेतृत्व और दूरदृष्टि का ही प्रताप है कि योग आज पूरे विश्व भर में समग्र कल्याण के लिए एक शक्तिशाली साधन के रूप में विकसित हो चुका है, जो शारीरिक स्वास्थ्य, मानसिक स्वास्थ्य और भावनात्मक संतुलन को बढ़ावा देता है.
And in sports, the Chennai Super Kings and Mumbai Indians face a must-win showdown today, with both sides desperate to reverse their inconsistent form and stay afloat in the playoff race. The two most successful franchises in IPL history have endured a forgettable campaign so far. MI are languishing at 9th place, while CSK are at 6th. CSK's batting has been inconsistent, particularly in the middle overs, while the bowling unit has struggled to close out games under pressure. MI too have struggled. Despite flashes of brilliance from top order, the five-time champs have been let down by a fragile middle order and an underwhelming bowling attack. In tennis, teen sensation Mira Andreeva will take on rising star Marta Kostyuk in the women's singles final of the Madrid Open today. 9th-seeded Andreeva advanced into her Madrid Open maiden final with a win over Hailey Baptiste. 19-year-old Andreeva is the second youngest finalist in tournament history, behind only Caroline Wozniacki. She's the first teenager to reach 3 WTA 1000 finals and will face Marta Kostyuk in the final on Saturday. Marta Kostyuk battled past Anastasia Potapova to reach the final. The second semi-final of the day was a scrappy night session marked by poor serving and frequent errors from both players. Kostyuk advanced to her first WTA 1000 final, where she will aim to replicate a victory over Andreeva from their only previous meeting in Brisbane in January. And that's all for this edition of DD India Live. But let us know your thoughts on the news of the day. For those on the go, you can get all the latest news and updates from India and around the world on the DD India mobile app on both Android and iOS platforms. Scan the QR code to download it. And we'll be back with more news as it breaks here. I'm Ramesh Ramachandran from all of us here in New Delhi. Thanks for watching DD India Live.